Hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. So today we're going to be looking at the Evercade again, but what we're going to be looking at are 10 games that you probably never played on the Evercade. Now, there's a bit of a lull at the moment in the Evercade market. Obviously, we're still waiting on the next releases, which are still 2 months away at the end of March as of the time of this video. So there are probably hundreds of games on the Evercade at this point, and there's plenty of games I've probably never played and just skimmed across and hardly even touched or reviewed at all. So what we're going to do in this video is have a look at the 10 games which I've actually never really played, and it kind of surprises me. Some good, some bad, kind of interesting. And what I'd like to know, guys, is what games have you never played? Do you agree with these ones, or have you actually played these games? Anyway, without further ado, let's get started with the video. Okay guys, here we go. We're going to start with Atari Collection 1, and the game we're going to be playing is Sword Quest Earthworld, which I've never actually played at all. I don't even remember playing it back in when I first got the Evercade, and it's kind of like a maze style game. I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do, to be honest. Kind of collect objects, scroll through the screens. I honestly don't know, and even through playing it, I still don't know. But anyway, here we go, let's play Sword Quest. It's a nice sort of intro screen, but some absolutely horrific sort of sound effects. Obviously this was fine for the day. You can see I really have no idea what the heck I'm supposed to be doing. And I guess it's something to do with these objects that we're collecting. But yeah, it's a bit confusing at times what you're actually supposed to be doing. So you've got different sections here, orange, yellow, and you can actually integrate with some items if you press the A button. I think it takes you to another screen, and sometimes there's mini games like this, which obviously you need to try to get from one end to the other. It's very bizarre. I'm not really sure what the heck is going on. But I guess the whole point of this is to get some items. I guess might be a sword. Okay, so there's a few minigames. This one's like a Frogger style minigame, which I don't know, seems a little bizarre. They're actually really quite hard. I can probably see why I never actually played this game, because it's pretty tricky. It's not really clear what the heck you're supposed to be doing, but I guess that's no excuse. I really should do some homework and look at the instructions, but does anybody read them these days? Sometimes you probably really need to, don't you? But yeah, not really sure what this game's all about, to be honest. 16.4, I have no idea what that's referring to be honest. Because there are obviously a lot of items that you need to sort of collect and do something with. I'm not really entirely sure. There's items on some of these screens. I've got now Dorothy's shoes, don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Okay guys, next game is on the Atari Collection 1, and it's a game called Titan, which I don't believe I've ever really played very much at all. And it's a kind of strange little game. I'm not sure if it's kind of be described as a puzzle game, sort of a. So basically, it has a basic idea. You really just have to clear all the blocks using your sort of square thing that you've got in the middle here. Basically, it's very simple. It has very annoying sound effects though. Really irritating, and it does start to grate after a while when you've played it. I can probably see why I haven't invested any more time on it than I have. It obviously annoyed me enough to not play it, and it does get pretty tedious, even though it's quite a good idea, and it's got horrendous scrolling, as you can see. It's jerky. I like the idea of it, to be honest. I think it's really quite interesting, but I think in practice when you're playing the game, it is mind-numbingly boring. Which is a shame, because I think there is a decent game to be had here, but I think the concept when you're actually playing, so you're actually doing absolutely nothing here. So that's not a game for me, you're just watching. But I like the idea of it. I just think the concept makes it quite a boring game to actually get involved in, which I think is a shame, and it has pretty annoying sound effects, as you can hear. Okay guys, third game on the list is from Atari Collection 2, and it's the classic game Solaris, which unfortunately I've never really played on this collection, which is a shame because I did play this a lot back in the day when I had the Atari 2600, and I really liked it. Didn't like it as much as my sister and my dad, they played it a lot more than I did, but I got the grasp of it and I really enjoyed it. But on the Evercade I've really never actually played it, which is a shame. And it's a very well designed sort of game. You sort of play this spaceship and you really need to reach the planet of Solaris, which is, there's many screens to go through and battles to ensue. And there's actually a lot of complexities towards the game. And it's very well done. It looks quite simple right enough, but it's really well done. I really do enjoy this game, and I would urge anyone to sort of look this game out and get it played because it is very good. Hard though, very hard, but it's quite addictive. With save states it should make things a little bit more easier. Okay guys, we're still on the Atari Collection 2 and we're looking at Human Cannonball, which is a game I've never really looked at or played, and it's kind of a shame because there's a kind of fun game to be had here, but it's very basic, but the idea of it is kind of quite addictive. So you're obviously trying to put the human cannonball into the sort of basket target that you can see on the right hand side of the screen, and obviously you need to sort of take into account the miles per hour and obviously the angle that your cannonball's at to sort of reach in the basket. Now you can learn them all, you sort of get the gist of it, what speed, what angle you need to have depending on what speed it is, and it becomes pretty simple to grasp. So you can see probably why I've never played it and why I'll most likely never really play it again, to be honest. But it's got a sort of brief sort of couple of minutes of fun while you sort of work it out and sort of experience it, but it's probably one of these games you're never likely to spend a lot of time playing, unfortunately. Okay, now we're on to the Namco Collection 2. I'm going to be playing a game called Warpman, which I definitely haven't played at all. And it seems a shame, I really don't know why, because it's got a nice idea, a nice concept to it. It's a kind of a mazy style game where you take out the enemies, you stay alive and reach the sort of the warp at the end of the level once it's complete. And it's kind of a quite fun to play, to be honest. I'm not really sure why I've never went back to it, which seems a shame. Anyway, let's have a look at it. So you've got sort of 3 lives. You need to sort of, you're the spaceman, you need to take out all the enemies. I think you need to basically take out as many as you can and stay alive until you can sort of warp to the next level, so to speak. Sounds pretty simple and it's actually quite addictive stuff. Probably should have played this game more than I did. It's a bit of a shame that I've missed this one. I think I'll probably be picking this up more now that I've sort of discovered it. And definitely think it's one that we should all be having a look at and playing while we're waiting on the next big releases. So we need to click that in the corner now. The warp is active and I've just missed it. Frustrating. So interestingly, the next sort of level is like a kind of a Bomberman style level, where you really just try and take out the enemies, stay alive as long as you possibly can without killing yourself, obviously. Very easy to do. There's definitely a lot more to this game than meets the eye, that's for sure, and definitely deserves to be played. It's a shame that I've missed this the first time round. So we're now on Atari Collection 2, and interestingly I probably could choose all of the games on this cart because I've really never touched this cart at all, but what we're going to do is play Prehistoric Man, which I've never actually played. I guess you need to collect all the bones and food kind of thing. It honestly reminds me of Bonk's Adventure, massively, but I've never played it and I don't know why. The design of it and graphics are really, really good too. This is quite a sort of cool and sort of quirky platformer. And it's obviously very much like Bonk's Adventure, if you ever played that with sort of shouting and sort of the fact it's a caveman. But it's kind of a quite fun, but I don't really know why I've never really come back to play it at all. It seems quite good. It's kind of really colourful, graphics are really excellent, but I don't know. I really don't know why I never came back. I still don't know. I think it is quite tricky, quite hard, but I don't know. There's probably a lot to like here, and I'm really a big platformer fan, so definitely mystified to why I've never played this. So we're now on Pico Collection 1, one of my favourite collections ever, but amazingly there's a game on here I've never actually played, which is Dork Yamp, I think it's actually pronounced, and it's a fairly recent platform game, and I never really played it at all. So I briefly probably touched on it on doing a review, and that was it. Never been back to it, never played it since, and don't really know why. It seems pretty polished, seems pretty good. It's another platformer. So I'm not entirely sure why I've not come back to it. It's very colourful, very bright. I've not really got the most likeable main characters right enough. So you can see the graphics are nice and colourful, very bright. There's a lot going on here. I guess you need to collect keys and sort of other items. And sort of hit the enemies with your green spit or whatever the hell that is, I do not know. But yeah, it seems alright. I can see why it's maybe a game I've never came back to, because it's not the most fluid or most exciting game you'll ever play, and the characters themselves, I say, are a bit, okay, not really the most likeable characters to sort of play and get your teeth stuck into. But yeah, it seems alright. I think it definitely deserves sort of more look and a further playthrough of it, that's for sure. There's certainly a lot to be had here. Okay guys, we're on to Atari Lynx Collection 1. 17 games on here, but there's one game I've never really played. There's probably a couple I've not played on this cart, but I've not played this puzzle game, Ishido the Way of the Stones. And really probably my style of game. I really like this type of game, but I never really played it much. I think it's probably because I really didn't know what I was doing, but let's have a look at it and see if I can figure out more what the heck I'm supposed to be doing. See, the graphics are a little bit sort of blocky, but obviously you need to remember it's Atari Lynx, and this was obviously made for the Atari Lynx handheld. Okay, this is basically a puzzle game. You need to get rid of all the tiles that come to you, and you need to match them up with either the colour or the sort of symbol that's in the stone. Kinda tricky, but I got the gist of it this sort of second time playing it here. So for the first time I really didn't know what I was doing at all, but now I grasp that you really need to match up either the shape or the colour or both, and then try and clear and basically try and fill up the spaces, I guess. But it must be a really, really tough game to actually try and complete. But you can probably see here there's some options you can show the moves, but there's no sound or music in the game, which is kind of bizarre. I don't know whether I've accidentally set it off or what, but there was absolutely no sound. Oh, there's the occasional noise there. But there's another one. So there is small sound effects and that's it. So it's kind of dull. You probably need to add on your own music here. You see, sort of matching up crosses, even though the colour's different, as long as the shape's the same, it's fine. So you need to do a bit of mix and match. There's certainly a lot of thought involved. But it's not bad at all, this game. I think it definitely needs a little bit more playtime. And I think this would be quite tricky, right enough to actually complete, but certainly not one to be ignored. Okay guys, to one of the more recent collections, Jalko Collection 1, and I've never really played. Totally rad. Never touched it, apart from the review video, and you know, never been back to it, and I don't really know why, so let's have another look at it. It looks pretty cool. It's obviously a NES version. It's another sort of platformer game, and it's nice, colourful, but yeah, let's have a look at it and see what the deal is. It certainly looks quite nice. Obviously it moves a little bit slow, but there's a lot to it. I think the only thing I don't like about it is the enemies come at you quite quickly, and if you're not prepared, really I've found myself just firing all the time because the enemies come at you and basically hit you before you actually realise, so it's probably best to just keep firing all the time. And you know, it's not bad. I think it definitely rewards sort of practice and playing it through, because if you die you go all the way back to the start, so it does get kind of annoying, so I can see why I maybe gave up on it. It still has quite a few annoying aspects, but it's not bad, it's nice, it's colourful. But it's not the best game on the cart, unfortunately, but does it deserve to be played again? I don't know, maybe. A little bit of practice if you're looking for a sort of challenging platformer to get your teeth stuck into while we wait on some more games. It might well be one to have a look at. Okay guys, now we're on to Codemasters Collection, and we're going to have a look at Stunt Buggies, which is a game I've never played apart from when I reviewed it back when I got the cart. But kind of a shame because it's pretty cool. It's a kind of a Rally X style sort of game. We sort of go around collecting the bombs, then get to the exit while avoiding all the other enemies. Much similar to Rally X, where you sort of collected the flags and avoided the enemies and got to the exit. But yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty playable. It gets pretty tricky, but yeah, it's very much playable, and it works great on the handheld. I thought, just for a quick sort of couple of minute bash, and it's definitely one that you should sort of look out and play. So guys, that's my look at 10 games you've probably never played on the Evercade. Now there's probably a lot more than 10, to be honest, out there that you've never played. Out of the 100 games that are available now, there's plenty I've never really touched or looked at or gave any game time at all. And I'm going to sort of look at more of them because obviously we've got a bit of a gap and a lull. So this is probably the best time to sort of catch up and play some of the games you've been meaning to play or haven't played yet. Now let me know what you think in the comments. Have you played these games? What games have you never played that you want to get playing? Let me know. So guys, even if you've played these games, let me know. It's obviously quite interesting to see if this is probably one of your favourite games that I've included here. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and we'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.